some time.
He attended Toledo out of high school, and then a year and a half, 2 years there, and called one day and said, nah, so he was coming back to Youngstown. Went into education for a semester at Youngstown. We're both retired educators, and thought that's a field he would have been good in. And during that time, Chief Norman and he were very close, and he'd ride the cruiser at night with Chief Norman, and he came home one day and said, I want to be a policeman. And went through the academy at Youngstown, did some part-time work with Mahoning County Sheriff, Vienna PD, was dispatching in Girard, and then got on the force in Girard, and that began his career. And we've always knew it took a village to raise a child, because we've always been part of the village that's raising the children, but now we're realizing that it's going to take the community to say goodbye to ours.
Did he always want to be a police officer, or was it just that something that?
I think just.
I don't know that always.
Yeah.
I think once he got to know some of the men on the force, got to know them better, more personally, he got to respect a lot of them, especially, like I said, John Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Rode around with him in the evenings just to kind of get a feel for, what John was experiencing as a police officer. Saw the way John Norman helped people and wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah, what type of impact did Chief Norman have on your son?
John, I was the principal across the street at the intermediate school, and I had known John to that, but John's first year, he was resource officer, and we got to be very close during that time. And John's two boys and Justin and us go out to dinner a couple times a week, and then relay. I always said John was my brother by another mother, and that relationship grew. And then from there, it was. So I mean, John definitely influenced what Justin did, and then the mayor gave Justin the opportunity to do this job. And but like I said, we're just hearing so many things this week that
postings on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
that other people are forwarding to us, things that Justin had done for them that we didn't know. He didn't share those things with us. They were just things that he wanted to do for people, to make their lives a little better, a little happier. Things that he knew he had to do to follow rules. One of them, a lady was talking about her husband being a disabled veteran, and he came through town and was speeding, and Justin stopped them and had to give them a ticket, and she pleaded. She said, money is tight, and they couldn't afford the ticket, and Justin said, well, he had to do it because it was on camera. But then later, I guess, out of his own pocket, took the money over to them to pay for the ticket. I mean, just little things like that where he knew that he still had rules to follow, but there were ways that he could still show compassion with those rules.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it was something he didn't want to have to do but needed to.
How proud are you guys of your son, hearing all these stories? He doesn't even tell you guys.
No, every time I talk to somebody, I think like the first words out of my mouth always were, "Oh, my son's a Girard policeman now." And it was just, I was looking at the pictures yesterday. The day was swore in, and it was just, he was an easy kid to raise. Mm-hmm. I mean, he really was. I mean, we wasn't, those kind of things. So who he is and what he was. And just a couple weeks ago, we had, I'd been the Girard golf coach the last couple of years, and he said to me a year or so ago, "Dad, when you're done playing coach, we have to go to Cooperstown because we've never done that yet." So 2-3 weeks ago, him and I spent a couple days up in Cooperstown, golfed a few times, and, just quality father-son time. And last week, him and I were on an overnight golf trip, and somebody said to me this morning, "Well, you'll see him again on the 19th hole." I thought, You know, we were told yesterday that this is the new normal, but I don't know.
Was golfing what? I mean, obviously, golf's one of your big passions. Was also golf one of his
It
big
was.
passions?
It was. The last time I talked to him was Saturday about 4 o'clock. He called and he was complaining about the YSU game and how lousy that was. And he was on his way to one of his. Somebody in the police was having a steak fry, and he was on his way before he went to work. And I said, hey, Monday's weather's supposed to be nice. Let's play again on Monday. He says, you know, Dad, last Monday I had a really good round, and I parred the last hole at Yankee. He said, I think I'm just going to shut it down there and, you know, call it a season. So, yeah, he was into that.
You guys obviously had a big impact on the city. I mean, you're involved with Girard. Justin, from what I'm told, really loved that Girard wanted just to see it as a better place, right?
Yeah, he, you know, he knew how to interact with people. Mm-hmm. So, you know, he always said that, you know, he could diffuse a lot of situations, and you know, I guess it doesn't surprise me as I'm seeing what happened the other night, that he was talking with this guy, you know, before this thing went down.
He enjoyed being with people, interacting, especially kids. He enjoyed being around kids and helping them. It seemed like, I look back now, he was always around kids, you know, playing with them, interacting with them, helping them. That was just always a part of him. It wasn't something he had to work on. It was just something he found himself doing, I think, without even thinking about it.
Was he an outgoing guy?
Yeah, I always thought so. I mean, you know, like I said, he, from the time he was young, since he was an only child, I mean, he was, you know, he would carry on conversations, and so people would say, boy, he seems older than he is, kind of thing, and
looked younger than what he was then.
You know,
yeah, he did.
He really did. I mean, he, you know, skinny guy, and that's what I said. When he was in high school, he was on a state champ cross country team as one of the extras. But when he got into cross country, I always said, I don't know where his role model. There's no Italians that do this, you know, so I don't know where the role models come from. But yeah.
What do you guys think of the support you've received from the city?
It's unbelievable. Not so much that from the community's perspective, but how do you say thank you to so many people that have gone out of their way to let us know that they care? That's just amazing to me, unbelievable.
We got home Saturday night. We had been at a wedding and got home and just was laying in bed, and the phone rang once, and I glanced at it, and it was from Chief Norman, and it was a one-time ring. So I thought it was a butt dial or something like that, and I didn't pay attention to it, and I rolled back over, and about 5 minutes later, one of the officers is pounding on the door and saying, we got to get going now. And flew down there, and it was 5 minutes maybe after we got there that it was all over, and so we didn't get to say goodbye. But he knows we loved him.
When he told you guys he wanted to be a police officer, what was your initial reaction? I think the culture in the world has certainly changed a lot in the last 5 years since.
Yeah. I mean, so at that time it was, you know, we were just thankful he was going to do something. You know, because we were really wondering where, you know, he was kind of like a rudderless ship, you know, just drifting along there, and you know, we always had hoped, you know, even after he became a policeman, I always thought, well, maybe he'll go back to college sometime and at least do something with those 4,000 hours that he has, and you know, pick up a degree on the side or something. But that was probably never going to happen. But it didn't matter, because, you know, I mean, a week after on the job, he'd already figured this was going to be his, you know, his 25, 30-year calling. So, yeah, no, at that time it did. Every night he lived up the street, but he'd change clothes here because we did his wash. But he'd stop every night to get changed to go to work, and the last thing I'd say to him going out the door, is hey, make good choices, brush your teeth, and be safe. And and even like probably Saturday when he called me, and because I knew I wasn't going to see him that night, that's probably what I closed with.
Brush your teeth. That's an invaluable thing.
From the time he was in college, that was as our conversations went on, that was always our closing remark. So.
You talk to him every day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure the last 2 days have been the worst days of your life, right?
They tell us this is the new normal.
Yeah, we keep thinking he's going to come through the door.
I don't want to believe it. I think we're both still kind of numb.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, we'd had a discussion with him, and we always knew that something could happen. But we always thought we had more time. We didn't think it would happen this soon.
There's just so much hate in the world right now, and something I read on Facebook, maybe Saturday night, and somebody says, on all these sites we complain about this, and we complain about the speed cameras and the garbage in the streets and all that stuff, and they said, and for a few days we're past all that, and now maybe we can, we're going to set up a scholarship fund for him, and maybe some kid will learn his story and remember who he was.
I think I see Justin as someone who had a lot of compassion for other people, who cared. You may not always agree with the people you find yourself interacting with, but there's always good in everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can look for that good, then you know what? You can work through the tough times, and you can find ways that the good can bring you together and work out any problems that you have. It doesn't always have to be a you against me. It can be a you with me. And I think if nothing else, I think Justin showed us that.